Handyman Lou here for Handyman's Garage with the V8 S10 swap. Here we are. This is what I was looking for. They don't sell gauges for a 98 S10 original dash shape. Electronics, Electrex, or whatever that's called. I looked it up. They don't have it. I looked up a couple other different companies that are pretty good. They don't have it. So I ended up making my own. This is homemade. When you take your dash out, you have, the black gauges, of course, the plug goes in through the top right there. It's electronic because, 98 has the computer brain in it. Well, I got rid of all that when I threw the V8 in. I took out the brain and I put a HEI distributor, carbureted, electronic, with the little choke on the side, electrical choke. It's fueling. It's now fueled by a 7-pound fuel pump instead of the one in the tank. There's a couple things you got to change over. So you don't need the computer no more. You don't need all that wiring. And before I cut all those wiring, believe me, I tested them one by one to see if I can get the original gauges to come on. Right here was the volt gauge, which was working. My gas gauge stopped working. It was right there. My oil pressure stopped working, which was right there. And right here was the oil pressure. They all stopped working. And the speedometer, because the speedometer is electronic. So I said, hey, you know what? Since I can't find the gauges from Imitrex, I keep pronouncing their name. I'm probably butchering their name. I don't care. They don't have nothing for me anyway. I went and bought 6, 7 gauges of my own. I ordered those 6 all at once, and then I ordered that one the next day, the GPS. GPS, that's right. That's what you heard me. It's a GPS speedometer gauge. It has a trip meter. It has odometer. It will save it. It has a couple different gadgets to it, and we'll show you that when we get this, the dashboard all back together. I'm doing the heater core. It's the reason why all this started. I had to remove the dash anyway to get to the heater core. By the way, that is in. It's going back in. It is snowing here today in Pennsylvania, so I'm doing this indoors. I just got done finishing this up inside the house. If you can see the green wires, those are what go to your gauges. Oil gauge, tachometer, water gauge, whatever. They all go to something or another. You got your black for the ground, your red for the positive, and there's your gas gauge, orange and blue. Anyways, now let's go across the board. And this one is the gas gauge. This one is a vacuum gauge. This one is your oil gauge. This is your water temperature. This is oh my God, it's oil, a voltmeter. Sorry, this one's the voltmeter, and this one's your tachometer. Yep, believe it or not, they make a tachometer, RPM gauge, that small. So, it was snowing today. That would have been done outside earlier today, like 12 o'clock it came, the white contact paper. And what happened was it started snowing right around 11ish. It was raining early this morning. I don't mind the rain, but that temperature dropped right down. I was in there trying to do that. I came right back in the house. My hands were frozen in like 10 or 15 minutes. Then I said, you know what? I could do this inside. I could just come over and do this right in here. And here we are. It's supposed to hit up on a little warmer tomorrow. I guess this snow is not going to stick because the ground is hot from yesterday, almost 70 degrees down here. You can believe it, almost 30 degrees yesterday. Today we got a wind chill of 20s. But then it's going back up to 40 tomorrow. 40 or 50. I can work in 40 degrees. Anyways, it's enough babbling. It's 5 minutes. I'm going to upload this to YouTube right now. Handyman Lou out for Handyman's Garage with the S10 V8 swap.